Okay, tribe, happy full moon day, full moon in Aries. I'm going to try out this virtual background tonight and see how it goes for me. I hope you're having an awesome full moon day, and just know that the full moon can be here for the full moon's energy can be here for up to 3 days after its fullest expression. So the full moon was in its fullest expression at 4:08 p.m. Central Time today, and we will feel that for the next few days from here. So let's talk a little bit about the full moon, and then we'll start to put together our full moon circle, and we'll talk about this particular full moon in Aries going on tonight. So full moons are always a time of heightened energy. This is a time when our prana is way up here. We're pulled up into our head and into our mind, and it can be harder for us to ground and stabilize ourselves, especially emotionally. This is a time when we really have heightened emotions. When we're pulled up into our mind, we start to get anxious, we start to overthink things, we tend to overreact a little bit. And these are all energies that could be playing into any full moon that you're experiencing, including the one that's going on right now. This is also a time when, gravity is physically weaker on the earth. And so it's hard for us to balance. It's hard for us to get control of our surroundings. And we have less awareness of our earthly bodies on this earthly planet. So you might just be kind of in la la land. This is a time when we can get more when injuries, we can get more injured, likely to be more injured. There's more hospital and ER visits during a full moon than any other time of the month. So this is just a time when we really need to slow down and relax. Now, because we have this heightened energy, prana is life force energy, we might feel really inspired to move that energy around right now. Some full moons are a time to be really social and outgoing and to get out and dance and have fun. Other full moons, the energy can be too overwhelming and it's a time to turn within. I certainly feel like the full moon that we're in right now is a little bit of a heightened energy, and it's a good time to be inward. We'll talk about that down the road. But either way, know that you can feel out of alignment or you can feel imbalanced right now. And so if you're feeling imbalanced, it's important to take time for yourself. It's important to take time to slow down, listen to what's coming from within, and make sure that you're doing a lot of self-care practices, really taking care of yourself so that you feel good and you don't let these emotions that are coming out right now get the best of you. Part of the result of having less gravity on earth and having this heightened prana is that it can cause our emotions that tend to be buried deeply down in our emotional body. It can cause those emotions to be pulled up. It can cause them to rise to the surface. So know that you're feeling over emotional right now. It's normal, but it's also a good indicator that you need to slow down and practice some self-care. Now, every single moon has an astrological influence, and this moon is no different. So this full moon is in Aries, and this is something we're going to be talking about specifically tonight. But before we get started, let's go ahead and build up our moon circle. So I always like to create a moon circle, and I use this bringing in the 5 elements. And I always like to do this for both full moons and new moons, just to remind me that I am connected to nature, that I'm aligned with this natural lunar energy up here in the sky above me. And when I bring in all of the elements, I help to align with that energy. So the first thing that I'm going to bring into our moon circle tonight is I'm going to bring in the element of earth. And I'm doing this to help us to ground. Remember that we have heightened prana, so it's a good time to balance that out, bringing in earth elements. And I have I have several earth elements tonight, but I'm going to start with some gemstones, some crystals. I have 3 of them tonight. The first one that I have is tiger's eye, and it's because of that digital background. There we go. So you can see the tiger's eye. It's really shiny. It's kind of an orange, yellowish. It's got some tiger stripes on it. Tiger's Eye helps us to deflect negative energy. So this is a time when our negative energies tend to come to the surface because we're feeling imbalanced, we're feeling a little off. We tend to get frustrated whether we know it or not. And sometimes we can have lower frequency energies such as anger, jealousy, rage, frustration, all these things can come out. So Tiger's Eye helps to work with our sacral chakra, which is where we hold our emotions. And it also helps to deflect negative energy. So it's a extra powerful stone to use during this time, especially right now because we also have Mars in retrograde. So there's a lot of conflict and fiery energy in the atmosphere right now. So we're bringing in Tiger's Eye tonight. I'm also bringing in, I said I have 3 crystals, but it's really just 2 of the same one, but it's a clear quartz. And here's the first clear quartz. And you can see it's quite clear here. My camera's really crazy with this virtual background. And clear quartz is used to just help us release. It's a master crystal. So it helps us to clear out anything that might be stuck in our energy body that doesn't serve. And then I also have another clear quartz here, and you can see that this one is a little bit more cloudy, but it does have a point. There you can kind of see the point there as I move it around. And whenever you do, whenever you bring in pointed crystals into your rituals, you're enhancing the energy. So this point helps to enhance the energy of everything that's coming through right now. So I really want to not only have myself, but have all of us on this collective planet really see clearly through the rest of this year and throughout 2021, helping us to see more clearly and helping us to see from a more spiritual point of view. So I'm just going to bring in this extra powerful pointed clear quartz tonight into our circle. Now, the other earth element that I'm going to bring into the practice tonight is Palo Santo, and I'm always bringing in some sort of smudging sticks, and this one's very, very small. You can see there it's very tiny. It's one that I've been using throughout really most of this year. So I thought might as well go ahead and use it right now as we're celebrating this harvest moon. Continue to use this last bit of this Palo Santo. I also really like using Palo Santo right now because we're in the season of autumn, and autumn is an energy of letting go of dead things. And Palo Santo is actually a dead wood. So the wood usually sits for about 7 years before it is harvested. And I don't even say harvested, but it's dead on the ground, and they collect the resin from the wood after about 7 years. And then we use that resin to burn it and help to cleanse our spaces both energetically and microbially. So that's what I'm doing now is I'm just burning this little Palo Santo, bringing in this energy of letting go of the dead things, the magic of the dead things like this Palo Santo. Remember that, you know, all the leaves that the trees let go of, they do die and go to the earth, but then they fertilize and they bring in new growth in the spring and the summer. So everything has its purpose, even the dead things. I'm just going to send that smoke out to you. And also know that when we're bringing in these smudging sticks, we're bringing in the element of fire as we light the smudge. And we're also bringing in the element of air or wind or smoke, which helps us to see this veil in between the physical and the metaphysical. Now, I'm also going to bring in the element of fire by bringing in a candle tonight. This candle says good vibes only. I mentioned that we could be in some lower frequency energies right now. So I'm going to bring in some extra fire in a positive way to help remind us to bring all of this energy into one space and direct it in a good way. And I know that you can't see this, but this flame is just kind of right here shining into our circle. Okay, so we have the earth element, we have the fire element, we have the wind element or the air element, and now we have water. So I'm bringing in 2 essential oils tonight. I'm using some plant medicine, and these essential oils are steam distilled, so they are the water element for us. And the first one I'm bringing in is actually a doTERRA blend. It's called Harvest Spice. So if you are a doTERRA user, I highly suggest using Harvest Spice if you have it in your oils inventory, because this is the harvest moon. So this has oils like cinnamon, clove, cassia, eucalyptus, cedarwood, nutmeg, lots of those nice fall scents. If you don't have Harvest Spice, or if you don't use doTERRA oils, that's fine. I would suggest using some sort of hot oil tonight, like cinnamon, clove, or ginger. This just helps to align with the fiery Aries energy that's influencing our moon right now. Now, the other oil that I have is peppermint. And we've been working with peppermint a lot recently, but I want to work with peppermint right now because over the rest of this lunar cycle, we're going to go into a Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde affects our throat chakra. So we want to make sure that we're supporting that. Peppermint aligns with the throat chakra. It's also a cooling oil. So we have these warm, hot oils to use to help represent the fire energy that's going on right now. And then we have the cooling element to help balance out all of that fire. So I suggest that you can use peppermint in your practice today as well, just to help encourage your throat chakra, prepare it for the upcoming Mercury retrograde, or to help cool down your energy if you're feeling a little heated, either physically or if you're feeling heated emotionally. This will help to tame your emotions. Now, another way that peppermint helps us align with full moon energy is peppermint is known emotionally as the oil of the buoyant heart. Okay, so it helps us to unlock those emotions that might be in the shadows of our heart that we might have stuffed down away. It helps to let them rise to the surface in a very gentle way, which is something that we want to do during full moon energy. We want to be able to release and let go of things that no longer serve us. So this is our water element, these oils. Now, finally, we have the 5th element, right? And that is the ether. And we are connected through the ether right now. It's this, element of communication. It's how we connect digitally. And it's the element of speech. And so coming together tonight in this circle, connecting virtually, we are bringing in that 5th element. And I want you to know that even though you're not here in front of me, all of the energies of these high vibrational elements that we've used in our circle tonight, they are reaching you as well through the ether. And the ether withstands space and time. So it doesn't matter what's coming through right now. Even if you're tuning into the replay, you're still going to get the benefits of all of the energies and the messages that are coming through this sacred connection. So now that we have our elements, our circle is sealed. And with that, I will take a deep breath. And if you want to join me, go ahead. I'm going to reach my arms overhead, really signifying this circle of the bright full moon outside. And on the exhale, just letting go. I realize that this is all crazy in the background. I'm having fun tonight. I don't care. I just want to have fun. So I'm bringing in the digital background. Okay, so with that, tribe, let's talk a little bit about this full moon in Aries. Right now, we have an astrological influence of Aries, and Aries is symbolized by the ram, and we may be in a stubborn energy right now. Did we not just have the presidential debate here in the United States? Talk about stubborn Aries moon energy. And the moon is related to our womb space. The moon is that sacral connection. It's related to our emotions. Remember, we've got this tiger's eye right now. So this is a time when you might feel very stubborn in your emotions, and you might feel like your emotions are really heightened. That fire element tends to sometimes get out of control with us. And when it comes to fiery emotions, things like letting our tempers rise, getting angry, getting frustrated, getting jealous, having rage, lashing out, all of these are kind of what Aries energy is about. And then on top of it, we have Mars in retrograde also in the sign of Aries. Now, Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, which means that now, as this planet is spinning backwards, passing by Earth, it's only putting more fuel to the fire, because when you add air to the fire, it only makes the flames go higher. Also, know Mercury retrograde is coming here in a few weeks. And with that, we have throat chakra, which is also air, which is also going to enhance the fire energy that's at play right now. We're not going to talk a lot about Mars retrograde, but do know that Mars is in retrograde until November 13th. So this extra fiery temperament is going to be in our air and in our energy of planet Earth until the election is over and done with. I hate to break it to you. So be patient, take deep breaths, and try to remain calm throughout all of it. Now, I'm a Libra. I'm a peacemaker. It's Libra season, and I didn't even watch the debate because I don't like conflict, and I spend enough time in my own life trying to create peace and trying to help others create peace that I don't need any extra outer conflict that I don't have any control over. So I just avoided that, and I kept my own peace in the process. I suggest that you do the same over the next few months as we navigate the rest of this year. It's going to get pretty crazy astrologically. Nothing's slowing down yet. So just take it one breath and one moment at a time. Okay, so Aries, the sign of the ram, we've got this stubborn, fiery energy. But another thing we have right now is this extra fire to really move our energy around. So full moons are a time of heightened prana. This is a really good time to take this energy and use it in a constructive way. So the first thing that you could do is you could get creative right now. Do you have any sort of creative projects that you've been wanting to dive into? Any sort of artistic projects that you'd want to move energy into? Is there anything that you really want to move your creative energy into? And this includes fertility as well. So whatever you're ready to create in your life, now is the time to start focusing on it. Use these fiery energy flames to fuel your own flames of your heart's desires and start to move forward into a place in your life where you're fully fueled by the fire of joy. Aries is a time when we might feel like we are in conflict or battle with others, especially. So if you feel like you've been going to war right now with others, know that this is kind of the energy that's happening with this full moon. And know that full moons are a time when, remember, we're pulled up into our head and we tend to be really reactive and very quick to react, and we're easily defended. And this happens even worse when we hit the Mercury retrograde. So make sure right now that you're already training yourself to slow down, especially when you're feeling triggered. Take a few deep breaths, really reflect, and don't be so quick to react. Make sure that you're slowing down before you respond to whatever you're feeling called to respond to. Our ego lives in our head, and so when you're pulled up into this energy, you're going to be ego driven in a lot of your responses, and you might live in regret after this fiery full moon energy has passed. So give yourself permission to slow down right now and be patient, and just try to keep your peace as much as possible. Now, I sometimes talk about the Vedic astrology of this moon. This time around, I am not talking about it in our moon scope here, in our virtual moon circle, but I will write about the energy later. I really just want to focus on this fire energy that's going on right now. Full moons are always a symbol of heightened fire. We can see outside right now that the moon is fully illuminated. If you don't have a cloudy night, that illumination is happening through the fire of the sun. So the moon is on the opposite side of Earth right now. The sun is on the other side. It is shining down, and the moon is becoming illuminated from all of this fiery sun energy. So we have the fire of the sun illuminating the moon. We have the fire of Aries astrologically influencing this moon, and we have the fire of Mars retrograde also playing into this cosmic energy. so much fire. And if moving your energy through creatively is not enough, you might just need to move in general. So this is a really good time right now to move your body. You could dance, you could headbang out to some rock music, you could go for a run, you could do a really workout. Mindful that you're not going into overload, mindful to not let the energy get out of control, right? If you're feeling too heightened, cool down, calm down. But if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling restless, if you're feeling anxious, move the energy up and out however you can. If you're feeling specifically angry or ragey right now, you need to get it out through your throat chakra, okay? Because if you don't get it out right now, when Mercury retrograde hits on the 13th and 14th, it's going to feel like it's getting locked up, and it might even get pushed back down into those shadow areas, and those emotions will get stuffed down as well. So if you don't want these energies to bother you, if you don't want these energies to hold you back anymore, you need to move them through. That means that you could sing. That means that you could just give voice and say things out loud, or you could scream. I highly suggest screaming if you need to. Go somewhere where it's not going to worry anybody. Go somewhere where maybe you can be isolated. Get your screams out if you need to. Scream out whatever frustrations you need to. One of my other favorite practices to do, and this is something I've prescribed to some of my clients when they're going through, moments of anger or rage or frustration, is to, go to just like a typical like thrift store and buy a set of dishes or plates, and it's going to cost you just a couple of bucks. If that, go out somewhere where you can break them, throw them down on the ground and break them. Break some stuff. If you don't want to break some stuff, do the pillow thing, throw pillows down. But I think it feels better when you actually see that thing breaking apart. You see that energy moving through and moving out of your body. So this could be a great practice to do during this Aries full moon, is to go out and break some stuff if that's what you have to do. You can also really get in tune and in alignment with the fire, as this fire highlights me now. And you can do this through building your own fire. So you could build a bonfire outside. If you have a fire pit, it'd be a good time to build a good fire in it. You could do a little campfire. If you can't build a fire outside, you could always, just burn some candles. You could also, if you have a burning bowl, you could look into creating a burning bowl, moving your energy through that. Or if you have a burning bowl, you could use it. If you don't know what I'm talking about or what a burning bowl is, you could look that up online. I'm not going to go into the details right now. But make sure that you're practicing safe fire practices, whatever you're doing, but go ahead and relate to the fire and cultivate your own fire with all of that energy that's moving through you right now. And then use that fire for release and transformation. So we've had these wildfires burning out west in North America right now, right? And we know that there's going to be a lot of transformation that comes out of that. First off, there's been a lot of release, right? A lot of people, first off, have lost their homes. A lot of wildlife have been killed and injured. We've had people that have died. And we really just, first off, want to hold in our hearts those people and those living beings that have suffered through this, but also know that, this fire is releasing things. And as it makes its pathway, it's going to release everything along the way. So you can do the same. If you've got things that are bothering you right now, I suggest making a list of them. So write them all down. Write down everything that is no longer serving you. Write down everything that's standing in your way of joy. Write down everything that's standing in your way of creative energy. Write down everything that's preventing you from moving all of this energy out, that's causing you to feel restless and frustrated. Write it all down. Write down everything that you're ready to get rid of in your life, and then burn it away. Throw it in that fire. Because once that list is burned away, it's turned to ash and it will never go back to what it was. So all those things you wrote down, now symbolically, they cannot return to where they were. And you can really imagine yourself releasing these things and giving yourself permission to do so. So I talk about the fire being transformative as well, right? Well, a lot of these fires, wherever they burn, by next spring and by next summer, there'll be regrowth. And in fact, a lot of times we use controlled burning to help create new regrowth in places that are starting to die or starting to crumble away. And you can do the same. So know that the fire can be transformative for you. When you burn that list away and you have this ash, you can let that be a symbol of you starting over and you starting fresh and you having a clean slate. This is your own transformation and your own evolution and your own way to move forward, more in your heart's fires, more in your belly's fires, more in the things that you love and the things that bring you joy. So use your fire to serve you in some form or fashion, whether you just need to move it through your body, whether you need to build a fire, or whether you need to use the fire to release. I highly suggest you embrace all of that now. And notice how the flame just stopped and nothing changed, and then it flickered again. So the fire can be really interesting, by the way, when you're burning away your list, because you can watch how it burns. You can also watch the smoke. And sometimes you can see things out of that or get messages out of that or notice different colors. So I suggest that you really pay attention to what you're burning if that's something that you choose to do. Now, on the other side of things, you also want to bring in this full moon energy to help charge you up. So make sure that you're charging all of your crystals and your gemstones and the things that you work with for your spiritual practices. Make sure that you set out maybe some water during this moon to charge so that you've got some lunar water to balance out this energy and help cool you down. You could set out some food as well. So setting out some moon fruit, setting out a piece of fruit or some fruit outside underneath the moon, let it soak in the lunar energy, and then eat that fruit the next day, taking in all this moon has to offer. With the fire energy that's going on right now, it's really important to ground, and food, moon fruit can be a really good way to do that. You know, Aries energy itself, Aries people tend to have a really high metabolism, so they need to eat a lot. So this might be a time that you really need to make sure that you're getting plenty of nutrition and nourishing food to keep yourself fueled through all of this energy that's moving through you right now. So with that, I'm going to tame my fires for just a moment and take a nice big drink of water. If you have anything that you want to put in the chat right now, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll check that. And then we're going to move on to the tarot reading for tonight for this full moon in Aries. And we'll seal our circle by doing just a little bit of breath work as well. So I'm going to take this drink. I'll check the chat. I love how things like disappear into the digital background. All right. So I'm just going to check the chat. Okay, don't see anything in the chat. Perfect. So let's move on to this tarot reading. And before we do, I'm just going to take a deep breath to get ready to channel whatever is ready to come through from the universe. Okay, Moon Tribe, let's see what the tarot cards have in store for us for this full moon in Aries. So today I felt called to pull 4 cards. Normally I pull 3 cards, a past, present, and future card, which I did absolutely pull for this full moon. But I also felt called to pull a 4th card as an overall theme card for the rest of this year and the rest of this lunar year. So for the rest of this year, meaning until December 31st, 2020, moving into 2021, but also the lunar new year, which happens more into later January, and just kind of a theme to guide us through over these next 4 months when so much is uncertain and we have so much anxiety and worry kind of whirling around us right now. So, excuse me, for the past card, I pulled the Empress. And I have never pulled this card before. So I love that I've pulled this, and I've pulled the Emperor several times, but I've never pulled the Empress. So I just want to show this best I can without the virtual background. Maybe I'll turn off the virtual background to show you. Let me see if I can do that. Hey, I'm back. So I'm just going to angle my computer here. All right. So just for the sake of being able to see these cards, I'm going to clear away the virtual background and we're going to talk about the Empress. So here is the Empress. And you can see that the Empress, first of all, is represented by the number 3. And then also up in the corner there, you see the symbol for Venus. So past card, right? Well, how many months are left in this year? We've been through 10 months, 9 months already. We're on October 1st and we have 3 full months left in this year. So I'm not surprised that I pulled the number 3 for our past card. So reminding us to really look at how far we've come, right? We've got these ripe apples on the tree as well. And it's interesting because right now this is fall, this is apple season, and we've got these apples on the tree. This is also the harvest moon. So we're being reminded to look back over the past 9 months and really reflect on the fruits of our labor and how far we've come. Now, notice that the Empress is also cloaked in red. She's got this red fruit above her, and she's really symbolic of fertility. And this is something that I've been talking about for the past 9 months or so. I've talked about how we've been in this pregnant pause. We've been in kind of this cosmic sacred void of the womb space where all potential lies. And there's a lot of darkness before the dawn. There's all of this unknown, this blackness before the birth, right? And so we've been in this time of unknown, uncertainty, chaos, turmoil. What the heck is happening? Our world is turning upside down. But with that, we've also all gone on hold, right? The entire world literally shut down and went into a pregnant pause. And now we're moving into the rebirth. So this Empress card is just reminding us that even in all of the unknown that we've experienced in the past 9 months or so, so much has come out of it in a positive way. And so you're being encouraged now to do the same instead of lingering on the past, dwelling on the past, thinking about the things that didn't work out. Look at all of the, fertile energy that was there and look at what you have to harvest now. Now, final thing with the Empress. The Empress reminds us to keep moving forward. This red dress reminds us of our sacral center, our creative energy. We always have creative energy. In fact, our sacral center is a representation of where we hold our emotions. And what is emotion? Energy in motion. So right now, keep moving forward. Don't linger in the past. Keep moving forward. Move out of your heart's desires, the green on this card, and move out of your heart's desires, the Venus on this card. Remind yourself to just keep moving forward, and everything is going to turn out fruitful and abundant. So for our present card, I pulled the 10 of Pentacles, and I think I have pulled Pentacles every tarot reading this year, so I'm not surprised. And I love that I pulled the 10 for our present card because this is October 1st. We are in the 10th month of the year. And 10 is actually a master number of 1 because 1 plus 0 equals 1. And we really are kind of at this rebirth moment. these new beginnings. We still don't really know what's ahead, but we know that things are starting to look a little bit brighter, right? Things aren't so bleak. They aren't so dark. They're looking a little bit better. We're starting to have more information. We're starting to find more answers. We're starting to come to conclusions and come to resolutions and solve problems. And we're finally starting to become more abundant again. And that's what Pentacle cards are all about. They remind us of our abundance, right? This is the harvest moon. And it just baffles me sometimes how these cards align, right? Because this card is reminding us right now to literally take harvest, take stock of everything we've experienced over the past 9 full months. And as we move into this 10th month, as we move into this next season, we're reminded to just look at, the positive side of things that we've experienced from our past. Now, the 10 of Pentacles specifically also represents marriage. Okay, so this might be an actual marriage. This could be a relationship, romantic relationship. This could also be the marriage of a business. And note, it's really important now to marriage that business before Mercury retrograde, before communication gets a little bit muffled. Make sure that those business decisions and contracts are finalized before then. But this is a time for business marriages as well. And this is also a time of generational wisdom and generational wealth, right? So, looking at how far we've come, but also looking at the lessons that we've learned. So in this present moment, there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of fire. Look at this card, right? Yellow and orange, the colors of fire. Fire, Aries, full moon, Mars in retrograde, fire, full moon, fire. We have so much fire right now, and we are really fired up right now about the issues that we care about, especially if you're in the United States during this election season. We're very filled right now with our agendas. And this card reminds us to look back generationally on how far we've come. Look at the wisdom that's come out of the lessons we've learned. Look at the experiences we've gone through in our past and what battles we've won so far. And when you feel frustrated and you feel stuck and you feel like you're going nowhere when it comes to your causes, just look back and take stock generationally of how things used to be. 10 of Pentacles can represent a gift that you may be receiving. So I think this is more like gifts of wisdom that are happening right now. This can also be a financial investment, becoming very profitable. So if you're investing right now, I'm not saying that you're going to make a bunch of money. I'm just saying that this is a time when things that you've been investing in are going to start to show a very profitable return. And that doesn't just mean money. Okay, moving on to our future card. And for our future card, I have the Queen of Cups. And I've been pulling a lot of queens recently. We had the Empress to start, but the Queen of Cups, you can see here that first off, she's carrying this cup representing, again, emotions and water. And the Queen of Cups rules by understanding the feelings of everyone. In fact, she's a very maternal figure, just like the Empress is maternal in the symbol of fertility. The Queen of Cups is maternal in the symbol of, treating everyone equally and taking care of others. And this is important as we move forward, because it's important that as we move forward into this golden age that we learn to treat everyone equally. Okay. And we all have feelings, right? She's holding this cup. These are our emotions, our waters. We all have sacral chakras. We all have emotions. We all have opinions. But we can learn to rule this life and rule ourselves, hearing everyone's opinions, hearing everyone's feelings and emotions, holding space for those things without having a reaction to them. Even if you disagree with others' opinions, beliefs, truths, That's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to go into battle. It doesn't mean you have to go into conflict. So war, battle, fighting, these are very masculine energies. And look at all of the female influence that we have right now. Now is not the time to fight. Now is the time to lead with love. Look, she's wearing a green dress. So it's almost the opposite. You've got the green and the red of the Empress, and then it's the opposite, red and green here with the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups has this red curtain around her. She's surrounded by emotion and feeling all the time, but she lives from her own truths and her own heart center so that she always feels aligned and stable. And remember that our heart center is right at the center of our energy body as well. This is where all of our energy meridians stem out of, right from the heart space. So make sure, I really hope this has been recording the whole time. I just realized that I hadn't clicked over the virtual background. Heather, real quick, can you let me know if I didn't get those other two cards, or if it's been recording the whole time? Just let me know. I'm going to keep talking about this Queen of Cups here. So the Queen of Cups is a symbol of staying emotionally balanced and staying in alignment with ourselves and making sure to rule our life with, harmony and peace and equality. This is Libra season after all. And after this full moon leaves us in a few days, we're still going to be in this Libra season. This is the future card. This is reminding us as we move into the future to stay strong in our heart, live from our truth, stay grounded, and just trust that all is going to be okay. I'm going to check the chat really quick and make sure that all of that recorded. Okay, perfect. So you could see it all. Okay. It's been a crazy night. One thing that's interesting right now, so I'm a Libra and I was born in a Mercury retrograde. Actually, my birthday is October 14th. And this year, the Mercury retrograde, the first full day of it is on October 14th. Mercury retrograde affects tech. I've never been tech savvy. This Zoom thing is fairly new to me. And I always have a lot of issues with tech when like the air and the fire are heightened. That's exactly what's happening tonight. So perfect. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so finally, the final theme card is to help guide us over the next 4 months or 3 months as we wrap up this year and this lunar year. And I pulled the Page of Cups. And so I'll zoom in there on the Page of the Page of Wands, not the Page of Cups. And wands are a symbol of magic. They're a symbol of creativity. We're certainly being fueled right now to live out of our creative center and fuel all of this fiery energy through that chakra and really start to create. Also know that there's a lot of green again. We're reminded to live out of our heart center, live out of our truth. And then he also has this blue shirt on here and this tunic. And so blue, again, is the color of the throat chakra. Remember that I brought in this peppermint oil tonight. We're being reminded that there's a lot of messages whirling around us right now. There's a lot of information coming through the ether right now. So whether that be through the ether communication, through gossip and chat with others, or through the media influencing us, or through this just virtual world, through social media, there's a lot of messages coming through. The Page of Wands reminds us that we can take in all the messages and we can hear them, but not all of the messages are going to align with our truth, and not all of the messages are going to be truth. This Page of Wands is holding a wand, a magic wand, right? The ether can be a very magical place, and it can be a very deceptive place. There's darkness and magic as well. Things like deep fake are a perfect example, right? Of something that seems one way, but it is certainly not the truth. So understand that this is a theme over the next 3 to 4 months, that we are going to be receiving a lot of messages through the ether, from others, whatever may be, whatever our form of receiving that message, and know that not all of them are going to be true. And some of them are going to be meant to try to deceive you, to try to deceive us. So we really need to make sure that we are standing in our truth. Notice that his leggings are green. His hat is green, right? His truth, his spiritual consciousness. He's cloaked in green. He's cloaked in his heart center, his heart truth. Listen to your body and how it responds to the messages you hear. Wherever you cannot breathe, that is not truth to you. And that is not truth for your life on this planet, okay? And maybe it is somebody else's truth, but it's not yours, and that's important to know. This Page of Wands is holding this magic wand because he's the creator of his own life. You are the creator of your own life. Doesn't matter what the truth of somebody else is. Your truth is your truth. Stick to it no matter what. Also know that this blue tunic is also a symbol of communication through the metaphysical. So this might be a time when you're getting a lot of messages from the other side. That's crazy that that did that right then. You might be receiving messages from the other side over the next few months. You might be getting messages from your spirit guides. You might be getting messages from your ancestors. The veil, this Mercury Scorpio thing going on right now, the veil is very thin right now. Your ancestors might be trying to reach you. The angels might be guiding you right now. There's a lot of communication coming through from the metaphysical. Pay attention to your dreams. That's something I forgot to mention about the Empress. The Empress reminds us that we might have messages in our dreams, okay? Our dreams are other dimensions of our reality that could have played out or could play out, if that makes sense, or are playing out. Depending on how you want to look at it, right? And so the Empress, when you're thinking about looking at your dreams, you know, you might be looking at past lives that could have played out, or past realities that could have played out. And there's wisdom in that, right? This fruit that's hanging from the tree, that's wisdom. So just know that the Page of Wands is also reminding you that these dreams are going to come through, and you're going to get messages from other places. Just pay attention to them, because the messages that come through in your dreams are really important messages coming through from the other side to help guide you through this time of uncertainty. Okay, that's it. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to review these cards. I'll check the chat after that if you want to put anything in the chat. And then we'll do a little bit of breath work, and we'll seal our circle. So for the past, the Empress, number 3. We're on our 9th month, or 10th month. We have 3 full months to go. Look at the harvest of all you've reaped over this, all that you have sown and reaped over this past year. My communication is a little wonky right now as this Mercury is shifting. And remind yourself to live from your heart center, Venus. Live in your truth. The 10 of Pentacles, the number 10 for the present card, reminding us that we're in our 10th month, the 1 symbolizing new beginnings. This is a time of abundance. This is a time of generational abundance. This is a time of wealth and marriage and relationships coming together to help you to grow and create and receive more. And for the future, the Queen of Cups, reminding you that you can be in your feelings, that you can receive and hold space for others' feelings, and that it can all be held equally, but you can still live in your own truth without conflict, and you can totally rule in peace when you live from your heart center and you balance your emotions. And finally, as we wrap up 2020 and this lunar year, reminding yourself that you are the creator of your reality. The messages all around you, you will hear them, you will have space for them, but not all of them will align with your truth. And know that there is deception out there. So be careful of the dark magic that's surrounding us right now. Start to guide yourself by your own inner light. All right, I'm just going to check the chat here. Perfect. So I want us to end our circle with just a little bit of breath work. We're coming up on the hour now, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to give you something called breath of fire. This is also known as skull shining breath. And before we do this practice together, first off, I want to emphasize that if you feel dizzy or off or imbalanced in any way when you do this breath work, please stop and discontinue practicing it. Breath work should always serve you. It should never make you feel off. If you're pregnant right now, you also do not want to do this breath of fire. It's okay if you've done breath of fire pregnant before. I'm just going to ask that you not do it right now. It's too much heat. You're already extra hot when you're pregnant. You don't want to increase your heat anymore. Aside from that, you're going to find a comfortable seat. When you do skull shining breath, we're clearing out the mind. We're shining the skull, right? This is breath of fire. We're moving that fire. We're moving that energy out. We're moving out the thoughts that are whirling around that don't serve us. We're moving out the anger and the frustration and the rage. This is a great practice to use anytime you're feeling some of those fiery energies that don't serve you. You breathe in and out of your nose the entire time, and you're going to forcefully exhale. So as you exhale, it's almost as if your stomach pumps in and out. So as you exhale, the stomach will kind of pump in towards the belly. And as you inhale, the stomach pumps out. So we're pumping our fire. And our fire, our energetic fire, is in our belly, in our solar plexus, our internal sun. So we're really going to enhance that fire now. So I'm going to just do a quick example of this, and then we'll do it together. So it's going to look something like this. Does that make sense? So you're going to forcefully exhale through your nose over and over and over. And the inhale will just kind of come as a response to the exhale. It's a rebound effect. And if you can, get your stomach involved to help you force that breath out with the exhale. So let's do this for just a moment. And then whenever we're ready to finish, I'll let you know. Let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. So that energy whirls around us in the world. And whenever you're ready, just begin. Little longer. Relax. Close your eyes. Notice all the energy that you feel. And relax when you're ready. Blink your eyes open. So that was very quick. We did not do that for very long. You could always do this longer, but this is a great breathwork practice to use anytime you need to just kind of move out that frustrated energy. And you could just do it very quickly. You could do, like 10 to 20 rounds and move that energy through. It's kind of like the same way that you take a deep breath and you sigh things out. This is just a different tool. But you could also do this breathwork practice a little bit longer if you really need to move your fire through. You could also use this to pump your fire if you really need to, build up some courage to release what no longer serves you. I hope that this breathwork practice serves you. Feel free to use it over any time that we're experiencing this extra fiery energy in the cosmos right now. I don't have much else to say tonight. We're coming up on our hour, Moon Tribe, so I want to go ahead and seal our circle. I'm just going to take a drink of water. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'll check the chat one final time, and if we don't have anything else going on in there, I'm just going to take a deep breath with you, blow out our candle, and wish you full moon blessings. Okay, Moon Tribe, I don't see anything in the chat. So I think we'll take one nice final cooling breath just to release all this tension, release what doesn't serve, release away those distracting thoughts, cool down from that breath of fire. Inhale overhead, big circle like the full moon. Exhale to your heart, reminding you to move from your heart, live from your heart, breathe from your heart, know your truth from your heart. Sending you so many blessings during this full moon in Aries. May you have the courage to release what no longer serves. May you be supported in your transformation and your evolution. So much abundance, glitter, and gold is coming on the other side. This fiery full moon is a symbol of all of that glitter now. It's on its way to you. It's on its way to you. It's on its way to you. Get ready to receive it. The light in me honors the light in you, tribe. Namaste. Keep those good vibes only going. Doesn't want to blow out. So much fire right now. Have a blessed full moon, tribe. Namaste.